good evening, everyone. Thank you all for joining us. Tonight, this is Seeing the Unseen. Title for you all is going to be What's Normal Got to Do with It? Now, I've got a few quick things to talk to you about before I turn it over to our host, Christopher LaPrath. But first off, my name's Kenan, and it's great getting to talk to you all here. So, first off, one of the biggest things people talk about is feeling normal, right? So emotional states are often associated with, at the very least, chemistry, brain chemistry specifically. Chemistry that also goes on throughout the entire body. So cortisol is one of the big ones that can be a huge trigger, and it's one of the most widely known stress hormones out there. So cortisol, they've found through studying it over the years, actually aerosolizes. And if there's a person who is not vocalizing their uneasy emotional state, we'll put it like that, then it's an even higher excretion of that stress hormone. So what happens over time is this will build up in a person's system, and it gets worse in crowds. So if a person like that it even just walks into a room of normally feeling people, right? We'll call it normal for the baseline of just, maybe they were just telling a joke or a funny story about something, right? So stressed out person walks into the room of laughing people, more than likely the stressed out person is going to at least impact those people in some way, right? They're going to notice it. They're going to feel it. There's going to be, a change in the atmosphere, quite literally. So every time we breathe in, it's important to be conscious of what we're breathing in and know that, sometimes thoughts and the stress that we're feeling is coming from an external source, like quite literally, maybe from another person even, or group of people, right? Like if it's a stressed out office environment, golly, that's, it can be quite the challenge to process through all of that additional stress hormone that really has no reason to be there. So there are a lot of different techniques to deal with that, namely exercising. I started to talk about that last program, but we can always talk about that more later. For now, there was one thing that's super important it's got to do with normal and all of our emotional states and everything. So it's, what does the unconscious conditioning want versus what does the authentic self want? And understand that unconscious conditioning, from 0 to age 7, all of us are in this record mode where it maps out our unconscious mind for us, all the things that we're seeing people doing. That whole process runs 95% of the time. We've said before, the unconscious mind is running most of the show. So reprogramming that and changing it to live a life that you want to create and create on purpose versus something that you were, you had very little control over, right? 0 to age 7. It's mostly just like watching a movie. But knowing that is a powerful tool. So, last note I'll leave you with here is that 3 out of 4 people die with some kind of regret. This is a well-known fact in hospice. They, survey people at the end, and they say, they have all sorts of different regrets from, living for other people before themselves, or not even really getting to know themselves, or living for what society thought that they were supposed to be rather than what they actually wanted to be. So, all of that being said, just know that there is really no normal, and that you're all very much loved, and that we are love ourselves. We're this beautiful stardust that gets to experience consciousness, and it's a wonderful gift. So we get to choose how we feel, and I hope you all choose to feel really great. Now with that, I'll give you Christopher LaPrath here, and have a wonderful evening. Enjoy the show.
Wow. That was great. Thank you, Kenan. That was really well done. So, there's actually a physiological reason. Cortisol is released into the atmosphere. I kind of think of it like Banaka. Do you guys all remember Banaka, the breath spray? You know, and you spray it and your breath smells better for 2 minutes. It's when people have this elevated element of cortisol, and like Kenan was talking about going into a party, it's actually released into the atmosphere. Am I saying that right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. So many times, you've heard this as a joke in relationships. It's not you, it's me. So, but in this case, it is you, not me. Okay. So switch that around a little bit. All right. So I wanted to talk a little bit about what is normal, and it goes along with the Kenan's topic tonight. But we're going to clear the air and imagine breathing in this very sacred, very energetically cleansing incense. Just sending you great blessings. Okay. And welcome to the consciousness party. So, what is normal? A lot of times people ask me, well, where did this gift come from that I have? Well, I've had it all my life. But I really got hooked into confirmation bias because I wanted to be normal. And one of the things that I write about in my book is my mom had a beauty shop in downtown Sandpoint, Idaho. And one day my teacher comes in. My teacher was large, elderly woman, kind of heavy set, gruff. And she says, I have to talk to you about Chris. And you can read about this in my book. She basically said, you've got to get Chris some help. And my mom's like, why? She said, because he's coming to school and telling these stories of your so-called haunted house. And he's scaring all the other kids. And they're going home and they're telling their parents. And he needs help. My mom looked at her and said, well, pretty much everything he said is true. We live in a haunted house. And she had nothing to say to that. And what's funny is, about 25 years ago, I went back to that house. And there was a couple living in that house. And he goes, you're the guy. I went, I'm the guy? He goes, yeah. He goes, maybe every week, maybe every month, we get at least one or two people coming up to this house telling us stories that they had heard 50 years ago that I had told in school in first, second, third grade to these other kids, and that story had grown. So it's pretty well known in northern Idaho, the story of this house. But my point is when I heard my teacher say that I was scaring the other kids, I began to shut it down. So can you put on the group card? And I want to show you the group card tonight. If you can, please take a picture of this. There's a profound message here. And it's called the Bone Collector. Now, this is really an important message for all of us. I took some notes, but this card is about being fully present and free of reacting from past conditioning. So how we were raised, what we were told, what we overheard. Maybe our parents got into a fight because we spilled our milk. Well, as children, we take that on as that was our fault. okay? Or whatever it was, whatever conditioning, whatever childhood. I haven't actually met anyone who had a perfect childhood, okay? So many of us can have this feeling that something was stolen from us. And so we begin to accept a version of ourselves that isn't actually whole. And so it sets us up into a behavior to behave a certain way in the future because we were taught this about us and we believed it to be true. So then what we know about ourselves becomes limited by a perception of limitation. So I want to ask you a question. Every one of us on the show, are you willing to let go of all perceived limitations that no longer serve you to your best and highest, or no longer serve you as a whole being that you are, okay? As flawed, as unlovable. Even as an infant. Many years ago, 40 years ago, I had a reading with somebody, and in the reading, they said that my dad tried to kill me when I was in the womb. I'm like, no, I don't think so. This is before cell phones. But on the way home, I actually stopped at a payphone and I called my mom and I said, Mom, did Dad try to kill me when I was in the womb? He goes, oh, yeah. Yeah, he would beat me and kick me and try to abort you. And so even then, that was set up in my system as I didn't really feel like I belonged or that I shouldn't be here. And it was energetic. It was an energetic communication. So anywhere, and so I let go of that I was flawed or unlovable in some way. This bone collector, this card, is this woman, this bone collector, has kept safe for you what you perceived was stolen from you in the wounding. And she's here tonight to have every one of you reclaim it now. You know, when this program started, many of you would type in, oh, I'm working on that. Yeah, I'm really working on that. This isn't about working on it anymore. This is about reclaiming who you are or any perception of limitation. Not yours. This is about seeing yourself as a whole being. Okay? And are you willing to be free of constantly trying to heal an old wound? Bring in the bone collector. That's what she's there. She's there for, and to reclaim the things you believe were lost. Welcome to the show. Who's on first?
Awesome. Tonight is John.
Hey, John. So I called John today and I go, hey, how's it going? He goes, I went to Wyoming yesterday. He's back up in Wyoming selling land. So if ever any of you ever wanted land stretching out so far and wide, keep Manhattan, just give me that countryside, call John. Instant message John. He's got this amazing land up in Wyoming. Hot springs, galore, mountains, antelope. So if you need a home where the antelope roam, where the birds and the animals play, John's the guy to see. Okay. This is a creator. So you may be a dentist, you may be working in a hospital, you may be a realtor like John, you may be whatever. Whatever you do during the day, that's not actually what you do. John, what you are is a creator. You build and you stoke the fire of life in other people. You just happen to do it with property or houses or dreams. But your real work and our real work is to ignite that fire back in people through your words, through your blessings, through your interaction. You know, as Kenan was saying, if cortisol can build up in your system from stress and you actually spew it out like a non-ending bottle of Banaka, you can do the opposite. Your words can spray out blessings. It can spray out this peace to have in yourself, but into others, and to help build in them this fire of life. And that is your true calling. You are the creator. We are all creators, okay? So, I'll call you later. I've got a little bit more information. All right, who's next?
Austin.
Okay, Austin, here we go. So you've got an appointment. And it's at like 9 o'clock in the morning. But you're really having this really great dream. And the appointment is for a really great business deal or a really great opportunity. Are you annoyed if somebody wakes you up and says, Austin, it's 8 o'clock, but you're really having this good dream? You can go back to the dream, or you can get up, get dressed, take a shower, or get up, take a shower, get dressed, here in that order, and go to the appointment and actually create the dream rather than go back into the dream. So it's not easy. So this goes into the bone collector, Austin. In order for the bone collector to return to you where you've been wounded, it's kind of important to admit or show the wound. So it's talking to someone else. You know, that's why there's counselors. I'm a big advocate of going to getting counseling. Not I'm saying that you need counseling, but it's important to be aware of the wound so it doesn't continue to repeat and repeat. And that will allow the bone collector to come in, and the awareness, okay? It's not actually a bone collector, but it is this ability to recognize a behavior that was created when you were younger in order to survive. It wasn't bad or wrong, but it doesn't fit you anymore. It just doesn't fit you anymore. And so this is the energy to whatever that is, whatever you're aware of, to assist you in moving that energy away and creating the actual new belief, new behavior that really serves you to your best and highest. Because it's not easy. It's not easy if, if my son or one of you, my clients, points out a flaw or something in me, it's not easy to look at those. but it's a gift. So view it as a gift. Okay.
Excellent. Next is Lindsay. She said she had a similar experience.
Lindsay?
Yeah, with her dad terrorizing her mom when she was pregnant with her.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Lindsay, in any way, shape, or form, so I see that you put in the chat that you had a very similar experience to me growing up. Anywhere where that fear has permeated your energy field, are you willing to let go of it now and do so now? Good girl. You can feel it moving. Can you feel it moving?
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, Kennan's like, we can feel it move. Great job. Great job. So, let me get back to the card. That was amazing. Oh, I have to all tell you a story. So, Lindsay, this is really cool too. On Friday night, I did a podcast with a couple of great gentlemen out of Dallas, Texas. So you can hop up and see them, Laurel. The show is called The Truth About Beer and ... So they asked me to do a show, and Lindsay was on the show too. So thank you for watching, Lindsay, and for typing in hello. And so I was able to do similar to what I do here with this show on their show with their watchers. So Lindsay, you're going to love this. Because this ties in with the theme of what is normal. None of us are normal. None of us are average. Are we willing to let go of any belief around us being average? We know that. If you've been on the show for any amount of time, you know you're not average. Are you willing to let go of that and being free of always trying to fit in? Because it takes so much energy to put a square peg in a round hole. Okay? You can use that energy to just create a square box and then put the square peg in the box. If you know what I'm saying. Okay. So what we say and what we do, if we come from this view of the bone collector, has an impact on people. And sometimes we don't know it right away. We don't feel it. We don't know it. But Lindsay, I'm really proud of you because I can feel your energy changing dramatically. And I know everybody on the show can feel it too. So I want to give you kind of a quick story about this. So I was doing this show Friday night. Later that night, or maybe it was the next day, maybe it was Saturday, I get a text from one of the guys that was doing the show. I read for this guy named Pete. And after I read for him, Pete had texted one of the guys that put on the show and said, I'm really sorry that I didn't get to hear what Chris was saying. But the minute he pulled a card for me, we started to hear music. And so I got distracted because the music was my dad's favorite song, and my dad passed a year ago. So we're looking through the house wondering where this music came from. And it was coming from his dad's bedroom. And they'd kept the bedroom locked. It had been locked for about a year. They unlocked the door, and there on the bed was his dad's cell phone playing his favorite song. Just as I was reading the card for him that was about his dad. And the cell phone had not been charged. So I thought you'd appreciate that, Lindsay, since you were on the show with us on Friday night. But these are the things So if you try to put that in the category of normal, forget about it. Forget about it. There's no normal. Okay. All right, Lindsay, I'm going to pull a card now for you. Oh, I love this card. You are the fool. This is the beginning card. This is new beginnings, new way of being, new stepping out into the unknown, fearless. This is about you growing and just this freedom of trust. Because this fool is stepping out into the, it's like stepping out into the air. And if he was normal, he'd go, well, no, I'm going to fall. Gravity's like, no. But he trusts. And there's something there with this new beginning, new journey for you. Just seeing things from a different height. That the things that people have made about you aren't about you at all. It's about them. Okay? And they're just projecting, putting out their cortisol spray, and I don't know if there's a mask you can wear. I don't know. We'll have to look into that. Maybe not. Don't have to wear a mask, but people have no problem, when COVID, about wearing a mask. But it's the same with wearing a spiritual mask and understanding when these people are spewing things or saying things, it's about them, not about you. Okay. Who's next?
Laurel next.
Huh?
Laurel's next.
Hey, Laurel. Oh, and you can actually rewatch that show, The Truth About Beer, and on YouTube. You can just search it on YouTube. So it was really fun. Laurel, are you willing to be free of apologizing in any way, shape, or form for a strong personality? For speaking your mind, speaking your truth in any way, shape, or form? This is so they're showing me Star Wars and Luke flying that, what is it called? The
X-Wing.
X-Wing. Yeah, the X-Wing fighter. And he hears Obi-Wan going, Luke, use the Force. And he just lets go. And he puts up his goggles, his like GPS goggles, and he just trusts the Force, and he's flying just high speed, extremely intense, and he's just moving around all of the obstacles by trusting his gut. Your gut has grown, and it's growing in a spiritual sense. Okay, this is trusting the Force. This is the way. I'm taking quotes from now the show Mandalorian. This is the way, Laurel. This is the way. This is your intensity. It's growing. But trust the Force. Okay.
Next is going to be Marilyn and Abby.
Okay, Marilyn and Abby. So, John got the Creator card. Marilyn, you have got the Creativity card. Okay. Be free of, never underestimate small beginnings. You know Tiffany stained glass? When I was 16 years old, I went to New York and we went to the Metropolitan Museum of Art, and they had an entire window of these wisteria. And what's funny is Shelley Communicorn, years ago when I went to her place, she had a plastic window covering that she covered her window with that was of the very same pattern of Tiffany and what I saw in New York. And I was like, wow. This is, you can call upon the spirit of Tiffany to help you with your stained glass, because it's teaching you patience and it's building brain neurons. When you're doing that, it's doing something. This is the creativity part. Your work is extremely spiritual. Glass is a symbol of water. It moves. It bends. It grows. It's a fluid. So really bless yourself with what it is that you're doing, because we're going to all buy glass art from you. All of your glass art is absolutely coming through. This is the Divine Mother giving this to you, that your creativity is coming off the charts. So trust your creativity and call upon the masters. All of us, call upon your masters. If you're trying to perfect an art, Laurel, call on Elvis. You know, Jared, if you're watching, who's your favorite singer that has passed? Call on them to help you. This is where your creativity is an act of spirit. Every piece of spirit, every activity that we do, especially when it comes to art, is an act of spirit. We're bringing spirit into physical form. Okay, Abby, Bobabby, here we go. One of my favorite movies is called Flower Drum Song. I think it was like made in 1961. Abby, and it's a great song. And I highly recommend every one of us looking it up. It's called 100 Million Miracles Are Happening Every Day. And it's a very, very moving, very symbolic song that as we expand spiritually, anything and everything is possible. You know, I see Papa Joey. I see Joey popped on. Joy, I don't know if you saw the beginning of the program, but I was talking about that experience that you shared with me with Pete. And when things like that happen, when these spiritual things happen, we definitely, the way we're trained, we want to try to categorize it or put it on a shelf where it would look good or fit, or try to explain. This, Abby, is for you moving into more of the inexplicable. Notice when you feel like someone's touching your arm or the back of your neck, when you get kind of chills, just say, who is it? You can say it to yourself. Because if you're standing in a grocery line and you shout out, who is it? You can say it to yourself. And and you'll know the message. What is it? What's your message? What is it you need? What is it? Tell me what it is that I need. Okay? And that it's not just your imagination. And be free of trying to stock it up to, oh, that was just the breeze. Or that had been an insect. No. Okay, who's next?
Great. Next is Shelly, actually.
Shelly. Success. That's the way you spell success. So this is a cheerleader. It's definitely a guy. One of your friends, gentleman, who's crossed over, he was a great cheerleader, and he's around you right now. That this is success. 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 That's the way you spell success. This is the he's your cheerleader. You may have even felt him around. So he's telling me to remind you of the story about the old farmer who had a son, and the son fell and broke his leg, and the villagers were like, oh, bad luck, bad luck. Oh, that's so terrible, bad luck. The next day, the army came in and took all the young men from the village except for the son, because the son had a broken leg. And all the villagers were going, oh, good luck, good luck, good luck. The next day, the only workhorse that the farm had ran away. And the villagers are going, oh, bad luck. Oh, that's so bad luck. The next day, the horse came back with a whole bunch of other wild horses that he'd found and started to hang out with, and they followed him back to the farm. And all the villagers going, yeah, good luck, good luck. This is about riding the waves, and this is what your friend is telling me to tell you, that just because there's a lull where your horse runs away, I'm not saying you're breaking your leg, but I'm saying you get my drift, that just because something seems like it's not working out, there's a reason for it. Wait. Just wait a day. Wait 2 days. It'll work out. Okay, here we go.
Most excellent. Yeah, next is Cat and Geo.
Cat and Geo, you made it back. I had the best time with Cat and Geo yesterday. They actually flew out from Tennessee. We went, had a great lunch, and got to spend some great time. So I'm glad you guys made it back to the kids, made it back home. So Jared, this is the compromise card. You know what? That's just not my policy. People can't argue with policy. When they're trying to manipulate you or try to get you to do something, you can go, oh, bless you. Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for that opinion. But, you know, that's just not my policy. Oh, look at the time. I got to run. This isn't about compromising your integrity. This is about, it's okay for you to get what you want. And to act to say the right things. I'm not talking about sweet talking, but I am talking about it's okay for you to get what you want by letting the other people hear what they want to hear. And then stop projecting what you're thinking the other person's thinking. Oh, none of us have ever done that. Holy cow. Can we be free of that right now? Is letting go of assuming we know what the other person is thinking. That's really important for you, Jared, right now. Okay, Kat. Okay, so this is a little bit what we were talking about for your reading yesterday, Kat. This is the ripeness. This is the right time to do it. Universe, show me now how to do this or something better. You have a plan in place. You have an idea. Show me now how to do this, universe, because the ripeness for this, the timing is great for this. And especially now that you have that other woman off your back, or the other woman that was off to your left, we talked about that yesterday. That energy, you'll notice this more vigor, more energy to go out and harvest the apples, to go out and harvest the fruit. It's plum good. It's a plum good time to do it. Plum good. Universe, show me now. Okay, who's next?
Excellent. Yeah, it's Lana's on next.
Lanny. Okay, my cousin Lana in northern Idaho. Wow. Sharing. This is a beautiful, beautiful card. One thing that's very restful for you, Lanny, is to get a candle and light a candle. And just even staring at the candle will open your mind to communicate with those on the other side. They want to share with you and the relaxing of the mind and all the things that we have to do or need to do in the physical realm can keep the door shut. So what I'm hearing is like those that have passed and these angels, they've been leaving stuff at your front door, metaphorically. But being able to quiet the mind with even just this candle, they're able to share more insight with you and highly recommend you be free of trying to rack it up to, oh, that was just my imagination. No, you're tuned in enough, my dear. You're absolutely tuned in enough to know that it's not your imagination. So that's going to be increasing this ability of yours. And ask them how they can help you. Because they do want to help. But some people think that if you admit that you need help, that you have a weakness. So again, this is what we started to talk about in the beginning of the show, where was it that you learned that you weren't whole, and that it's okay to ask, it's okay for you to ask for help. Okay? I remember potato harvests with your mom, and as a little 5-6 year old kid, going out there in the hot field and digging up potatoes. Oh, that was not fun, but your mom needed help. Okay? So it's like, it's okay to ask for help. It's okay for because there's more spirit coming in for you. Okay, who's next?
It's Regina.
Regina! Hey, thanks for being on. Okay. Gate is not locked. It appears to be locked. It appears that, so what's going to happen here is you're going to look over and go, wait a minute. I'm not a little kid anymore. This is letting go of what happened to you as a little kid, or what you perceived as a little kid, and looking over and seeing that this lock is not locked. And so the gate's always been open. It's your perception of things is changing. So every word out of your mouth, make it a blessing. Make it, for instance, so Ken and we're sitting here waiting for the show to begin, and the in our society the term is 2-minute warning, and I go, hey, let's change that. 2-minute blessing. Okay, 2-minute blessing. We used to both start laughing, right? But it's 2-minute blessing. It's how we word our words, and Andy's great. Andy can help you with that. This is the gate opening for you, and showing you things that you didn't even know you wanted are coming in for you. Okay, who's next?
Awesome. Actually, Matthew is with Lonnie.
Matt.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, so
Okay, it's nice to see you. All right, Matt. So what we do, if you're new to the show, I just pull a card, and I let your higher self, Matt, or your angels or guides, pull the highest priority, and there it goes. That's the card that fell out for you. This is called rebirth. It's never, ever too late to reinvent yourself. Do you know when I started to go to college? When I was 51. And I went up all the way through to get my master's degree. Matt, it's never too late. Oh. Okay, Matt. You've saved a lot of people's lives. And then there were people you couldn't save. There were people you couldn't save according to how you have thought about saving. But you were there, and who you are, Matt, helped those people. Man, I'm getting really emotional. It helped those people cross over because of who you are. So you still helped save them. This life is not all there is, but there's something unique about you. I'm so glad you're on the show, that you are there, much like these angelic hospice workers. When my mother passed, your aunt, they were there, and I could feel them helping her, escorting her, handing her off to the hospice workers on the other side. I don't know what they're called on the other side, but they're not Walmart greeters, but they're a little like heaven greeters or the other dimensional greeters, okay? But that's your ability, is to kind of hand off. And a lot of these people, when you haven't gotten them there in time, or you haven't been able to save them, their spirits are still there. And there's something about your spirit that is very profound. Yes, you help show them the light. Exactly, Lana. Okay. Thank you, Matt, for being here. I appreciate it very much. Okay. Wow.
Yeah, awesome. So Joey's next. And
Joey.
Yeah, Joey State, and Lisa is also.
Joey and Lisa. Yeah. So everyone, Joey and Lisa. Joey's the one who has the beer show. It's on YouTube. The Truth About Beer and. So if you can look that up, that's awesome. All right, Joey, here we go. All right. To have more harmony in your life, Joey, let go of self-judgment. You don't remember all of the math problems you missed in the 4th grade. All right, I don't know. Maybe you have a photographic memory and you do, but it don't matter. It doesn't matter. You worked in real estate and title agency and all of that. You're good with numbers now. It's a learning process. And are you willing to let go of, I'm going to refer my notes when the show began about the bone collector. Okay, the bone collector is being free of reacting out of past conditioning. So you're willing to let go of that, because this is going to create more harmony and you trusting your third eye. Dude, you've got some gifts, okay? And this is coming from the third eye. You work on something like dolphins do with sonar. And you can't explain sonar. Our left brain in our society, they want us to explain things. It's not always explainable yet. So this is about your third eye developing and creating more harmony with who you are and being more true to yourself, and being free of beating up on yourself for any past math mistakes you made in 4th grade. You get my metaphor. Okay, and then Lisa.
Yep.
Thanks for coming back, Lisa. It was nice to have nice that you came on the show Friday night for the Truth About Beer and. I loved it. So, Lisa, this is also your awareness breaking through. this is quieting your mind and your awareness coming up. This is a little bit like what we were talking with Austin earlier in the show. And when you become aware of how you were affected by certain things that people did or said, or even generational, you can become aware of your own power by letting go and realizing, hey, that wasn't even me, right? Because the child's brain, everything that happens is because of them. They're like really excited if it's good, and they're really tragically sad if it's bad, because they can't differentiate, right? Their parents are getting into a fight. Oh, it's probably because of them, right? Or the mother's, it's like that old shake and bake commercial, right? Mama made the chicken with the shake and bake, and the little girl says, and I helped. It's like that little girl's like, yeah, I get credit for this too. So your awareness is coming through, and it can be very emotional. As this stuff comes up, it's letting go. So think about having one too many gin and tonics or whatever drink you drink, and then throwing up the next day. Better out than in. So as you grow spiritually, and this is everybody on the show, some of these things can be a little overwhelming and disconcerting and discombobulating, and that's the dissipation of structure. The old way is going away. It has to. It doesn't necessarily feel comfortable, but just know you're going through a process of rebuilding. Okay, here we go.
Awesome. Yeah. So next is Richard and Aaliyah.
Awesome. Richard and Aaliyah. Richard, get yourself some flowers. Celebrate. Fill your place with flowers, and you can just buy a bunch of flowers and put them in 12 different vases. Put them around the house. This is your time. You went through a time where the flowers died and the seeds were dropped in the ground, and it looked like the flowers were never coming back, but that's not nature. Nature flowers the seeds again. Those seeds are growing, and you're going to be flowering big bada boom time by June. I mean, it's really going to be evident, but they're already starting to sprout, and you're already getting to see the outcome. Okay, and then Aaliyah. Aaliyah, breathe. Breathe. Patience. There are moon cycles. And you look at what is important, and what is important does come to you, but it may not come to you overnight. Okay? It may take a moon cycle. It may take a while, but you're on the right path. Be patient. Breathe. Be patient. Know that somehow things always work out. Sometimes even better than what we think about, and then what we get disappointed in. It's like we were talking earlier with Shelley about, oh, my horse died, or the horse ran away. Oh, the horse brought back 5 more wild horses, so now the farm can flourish. Okay? There are things like that happen, and if we react instantly and this is horrible, then we can miss the point of that blessing of going, wait a minute, what's coming around? What good thing is coming? Okay? Good. And then?
Next on Facebook is Karen Hill.
Hey, Karen. Thanks for being here. appreciate you being here. Okay. Integration, Karen. So they're showing me this truck backing up to a boat or a trailer. Okay? So the truck is coming, it's backing up, backing up, backing up, backing up, backing up, and then it integrates with the trailer. The driver has to get out, hook up the trailer to the truck, and away they go. There has to be an integration, a time of integration. And if you're judging the truck and upset that the truck is not moving forward, then you miss the period of the integration. You go, wait a minute, the truck is backing up here. But it has to in order to get the boat. So there's something that there's something in this period of your lifetime to go, it feels like you're going backward or you're stuck or things aren't moving. This is the integration period where it will all come together and you'll be going down the road yeah. So this is where things are working out for you. But this is a period of integration. So that period of integration, I talked about this earlier with, well, pretty much everyone in one way or the other. This period of integration can be seeming like a little rough, but it is coming together for you. And it is all coming together in bright, beautiful colors. And there's no comparing the eagle to the swan. Okay.
Awesome.
Who's next?
Next is Allison Rice.
Allison. Okay. Thanks for being here, Allison. Okay, girl, you got breakthrough. This is the steam. When you're in a steam room, it fogs up the windows. So let go of anger. Highly recommend. I'm not telling anyone what to do on the show, but are you willing to let go of anger and let go of grief because they've been steaming up your windows? This is about the breakthrough card is about breaking through. Not just letting the windows unfog. This is about breaking through the windows. But this is also about a breakthrough, a huge aha, a huge awareness. And I'm going to go back to the Bone Collector, which is the first card of our reading for the whole group. So remember, this is about being fully present and being free of going back to the past, which has caused the steaminess, the letting go of the past and moving forward. And are you willing to let go of the perception of limitation? And universe, remove the limitation now. Remove my perception of limitation. What is life? What is death? That whole situation with Pete the other night was very, very profound. It goes with your children. It goes with your sons. There's something to see and believe. It's I don't just preach this. I actually live this. I know this, and I know you know it. I know you know it. And nothing was stolen from you. The bone collector is for you to reclaim it. Reclaim who you truly are. Okay, and who's next?
Well, since you just did Allison, Tim Rice just jumped on and he says, I need help. So,
Okay, Tim,
yeah.
here we go. Well, Tim, you need help?
Next minute.
You got guidance. Quiet the mind. I always, and I've told many of you this, distract yourself. Go for a walk. Watch a movie. Take up knitting. Do something, Tim, to distract you, because the guidance is there. Turn your ringer back on. Anyone ever had a cell phone and shut their ringer off, and then somebody says, well, I've been trying to reach you, and you look, oh, you have 10 missed calls. The calls are there, Tim. Quiet the mind. Quiet the mind. It's there. Your guidance is there. Quiet the mind, and this will help Allison too. Hey, this is quieting the mind. And in no uncertain terms, if anyone's hanging around that is unwelcome, you go get out. You know, you have a party and people come over and they pass out drunk on your couch and they're still there 2 days later. You call the police, or you get out. You tell them to get out, and then you never invite them again. This is clearing your house, telling these spirits to, what are you doing here? Why you haven't made any progress? Get out. Go toward making progress. Go to progression and never return here. In no uncertain terms. Okay.
Awesome. So next and last actually is Ellie, Linzerlu's daughter, who came on midway through the show complaining about ghosts.
Ellie.
Yeah. So
Talking about what?
She said she was worried about ghosts.
Okay, Ellie.
You literally just said the exact perfect thing.
Yeah, so Ellie, so I'm going to say the same thing as I did with Tim. Ellie, in no uncertain terms, you get out of here. You haven't made progress? Go to the place you need to make progress to. Okay? And you could put a bowl of salt under your bed. Tim mentioned this on the show the other night, that I had told him to put a bowl of salt under his bed and he actually slept better. Right, Tim? So this is where you can put salt under your bed. Your mom can get selenite. Okay, and so, yeah, this is really good for you, Ellie. Oh, and Ellie, you've got some really great energy, and work with your mom. Your mom knows a lot. She's really going to help you develop your gifts and your talents, because you're very spiritual. Okay, you've got a really bright light. So use your light, and you can even go like this. You can like picture that there's this light coming out of your hand, and anything that is not there for your best and highest, you can blast them out. Okay? You got the power, girl. All right, who's next?
Awesome, that's everybody.
That's everybody? All right. I had such a great time. Let's do this again tomorrow night, 6 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. I would love the feedback. If nothing else, the feedback helps everyone else on the show. So, like Joey, thank you so much for sharing that amazing experience with Pete. I love you all. Kenan and I send our love both to you all, and we'll see you tomorrow night. Take care.
All right. Great show.